Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. We're going to continue this theme of security because there are AI agent swarms that are starting to go out there and they can possibly start attacking you. But how do you check for that and spin up your own stuff to do that? And that can be a little bit complicated. And so today I have the folks from this place called HackZero.ai. And so for HackZero.ai, they're basically allowing you giving you all these tools that you can use, including like an MCP tool server that will spin up some agents, and they have like a really cool user interface. So we're going to learn a little bit more about like security and testing your products from a black box perspective, because today you can just give it a URL and it can start to go after and start to do that type of testing for you. And if you've ever entered this space and try to figure out and do that stuff, especially if you're trying to do some compliance work like SOC or HIPAA and so forth, that could be quite cumbersome, because the first thing you'll see on these people's websites are just saying, sign up here and then like let us chat with you. And then that could just be a really long process. And I met these guys at the Cursor Compile event. And so I was at the Cursor event, and if you stay tuned towards the very end, there were some folks who were on earlier, and we were talking about putting together the special keyboard that the Cursor folks gave to us at the event. It's a Keychron keyboard. It's an RGB light up keyboard. We're going to assemble this today with the custom switches, with a custom keycaps, even a special Cursor custom keycap. So we're going to get that going on today. So without further ado, I don't want to waste any more time because these guys have been holding on through all of my different issues that I've been experiencing. We have the guys here from HackZero. So go ahead and introduce you guys. Give us a little bit of background of where you guys are from, some of the award-winning stuff, and like you guys are a really big deal in Latin America. I think y'all need, like, I'm trying to bring you guys onto the scene and like let people know like what's up with you guys. So welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having us. Really, it's really a privilege to be on your show. We're really like fans of you, so that's pretty cool. I'm Ryan. I'm CEO of HackZero. Um,
I'm Claude. I'm founder.
yeah, and a little bit of some background by myself. I spent the last decade doing competitions in cybersecurity, like CTFs and all sorts of stuff. Recently, I think last year we got like first place in Mexico, second place in Latin America, and it was like really fun. And more as time went on, I started using more and more AI into like these competitions, and turns out AI is pretty good at hacking. So yeah, that's some intro on myself. Wow.
Yeah, so I've been doing like technology and startups for 14 years. I ran through Y Combinator, Techstars, I did marketplaces, I did nearshore software development, and I also did like hardware. So um, I really, really love building. And the last 2 years, I've been like full heads on building with agents. So we know what you can code now super fast, but we also know that together with that power comes like a lot of vulnerabilities.
With great power comes vulnerabilities.
Yeah, with great power. Also, with a great mustache comes a great product. Our man, the beta says. Great. People are loving the stash. So let's talk a little bit more about what you guys are kind of offering here, and maybe get a demo as well, because like this product that you guys have built called HackZero. Yeah, tell us more about this.
Yeah, so we basically spawn AI agents to hack your company, and then we tell you how we hacked it and how you can fix it. It's got actually quite a few features. It can do PR reviews. I mean, PRs. Once it finds the vulnerabilities, it can do a PR and it can go straight into your GitHub. So you don't have to spend time into like, hey, okay, I got this report that I paid this Pentest company for, and like, what do I do next, right? A lot of the people we talked to were like, hey, okay, we paid this company, and now what do we do? So we kind of solved that. The greatest thing about this is you don't even have to use the platform that we have. We have an MCP. It's a great MCP. So you can just tell it, hey, go find more vulnerabilities and then let me know if they're actually fixed. Should I share a little bit of my screen to show?
Sure. Yeah. Let's just share a screen. So you guys haven't even done a formal fundraise. This is just straight out of your guys' garage, in essence.
Yeah. We haven't started our fundraising. We already have some angel checks, and some interesting investors. But we just got started, like literally, how many weeks ago?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Like
So
3 weeks ago, yeah.
Dude, how many people have signed on to the service, or how many people have you got to try it out yet? Like,
well, right now it's free for everyone to try. So a lot of people that have tried it so far, they really like the product. Of course, there's some friction that we have to solve, but we're still just getting started. We're working with a Mexican bank right now, and other people that we met in San Francisco at the Cursor event that just tried it. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
And they could just go to HackZero.ai. They could start reaching out to you. I mean, I feel like if you're in the investment scene right now too, don't sleep on these guys, because yeah, like they got some crazy background. And yeah, I'll go ahead and see if you can load up your demo. And I think I should be able to try getting loaded up on screen. And then I'll switch over to that screen once it gets loaded up on there. So we'll get that going. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what our interface looks like. Again, you can use everything in the MCP, but we're just gonna do it here in the platform. So you can just we made this little web page called Joe MBO. It has a lot of vulnerabilities just to test it out and give like a quick demo. And you can just click. It's very easy. Just click Run Pentest, and you can select white box or black box. For more context, for people that don't know, black box, we just give us the URL and we'll hack it. White box, you give us like the source code. And you can actually choose to generate PRs as well once it finds it. So it's pretty cool. We have two options, human reviewed or AI reviewed. For human reviewed, we actually get somebody that has like cool certifications or CPS, and like they can check manually and perform like even a longer pen test themselves if you don't want full AI dimension. But anyways, you can continue here, select your repository. Here we select the one. You can put credentials. So for example, if you have like a hospital system, you can put like what the credentials for a doctor, for a patient, for an administrator, and you can check that all of them should do exactly what they should do, because sometimes vulnerabilities don't even come from like unauthenticated users. But yeah, you can put it there. It will ask you if you choose to skip it. Some instructions if you want to give it like something that you wanted to really drill down on. And then you can choose when, like start now, right? And then it can just like start the pen test. And depending on like how big your repository is or not, it will take anywhere from 1 hour to 6 to 12 hours. So it can take a while, but it's great. It will just spawn like hundreds of agents with different it will, if you give it like the doctor and the patient credentials, it will spawn like 100 with doctor credentials and 100 with patient credentials, and they will just try to like break things.
Wow.
We're not gonna wait 6 hours here, so we can just skip straight into looking
We
at the
do have a
findings.
question from the audience, which is, please explain how your solution is different from something like Codex security. I think this is a really good question to ask, because I know a lot of people are using the built-in like slash commands and other stuff, and people are like,
yeah, that's a great question, right? Because you can use tell Claude, right? Or you can just tell Codex. We did run some internal benchmarks, and it turns out like if you give it the right tools and you set up the harness in the right way, it performs much better than it could with Codex or with Claude. So it really comes to like the tools we give it that are different than the ones that you currently have on your machine, unless you set it up correctly. So yeah, we're going to be releasing some benchmarks soon.
Yeah, and also, for example, when you give instructions to the AI to like make it secure or avoid this kind of vulnerabilities, it's very different from spinning up a browser and trying to click around and pointing directly into the endpoints and having real agents trying to find vulnerabilities directly into the endpoint. So basically, it's like an attacker, not like on the side of the defense. You first attack it, you find the vulnerabilities by really digging into really doing the CURLs or the requests, and not only thinking like the agent, hey, this is secure, and that's all. Basically, it proves that it is or it isn't.
Yeah, it comes down to the tools. And one last thing. Oh, sorry.
I was thinking about your backgrounds, because you have background in security and testing, and these additional instructions that you give to your agent harness are also exposed over MCPs. Like you're saying, if you're using Claude Code, if you're using Codex for the security review, loop in the HackZero part, and then you'll get even more comprehensive actual, like as if you hired a pen tester, or someone to work But like they're saying, the agents will then spawn off into all these different domains of
And
testing. Mhm.
yeah, and the most important thing is if you tell Claude to or like Codex to keep finding vulnerabilities, it will just keep finding things that aren't really vulnerabilities. Like I'm sure, like most of you like have run this experiment of like telling, hey, find security holes, and you just keeps finding things that aren't really like worth fixing. So what we have that Codex doesn't have is we have like this replay button. So every single vulnerability that we report, you can actually just like, hey, okay, you found it. Is it a false positive or not? Okay, just replay the vulnerability, and it
Oh,
will
can you make
run
the
it.
font a little bit bigger so that we can kind of see some of this stuff? Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this replay button right here, and you can just click it,
Yeah.
and it will tell you, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then it will do it and tell you, hey, you fixed it or you didn't fix it.
Yeah.
Um,
This is really cool because generally when you do pen testing, you find vulnerabilities, then you fix them, and then you do another pen testing so you know that now they are resolved. But with this, you only replay the vulnerability and it replaces the exploit, and you already know if you're still vulnerable or if or if it is fixed.
Oh, wow. So if maybe somebody already works in the security industry, can they use your product and test that and like be a consultant or something too? I feel like someone who has already contracts, they could just keep running this,
yeah,
over
I
and
mean,
over.
as long as you can verify the domain, that's one of the steps in running a pen test, which is just like
Okay.
putting a record on your DNS. As long as you can do that and prove that you own it, yeah, you can just use HackZero.
I see. Okay. Yeah, because this is very powerful stuff. I mean, first of all, just being able to replay that once you make the changes in your code, just to make sure that you fixed it is really important because normally when you hire people to do this, they'll charge you again to do the same run again and so you'll get a report back whether it's fixed or not. And you're like, it's such a slow
Yeah.
process, right? Yeah.
And one last thing, another thing, if you sometimes things that are vulnerabilities are not really vulnerabilities, they're like false positives. Like, yeah, I did this thing and it's supposed to be like that. So what this does is you can just say like, hey, this is a false positive because of this reason, right? And
Mm.
next time it runs a pen test and he finds a similar vulnerability, it's gonna be like, hey, this was a false positive last time, so it's probably gonna be a false positive this time. So I'm not even gonna show that, and it's gonna
Oh,
understand your app the more you use it. So it's like your own like chief security officer that learns your whole code base the more you use it. So
okay. So there's a lot of different things to unpack here. One is that when you run an agent run, you start to have things that are very specific, like you say, false positives, tests that you want to repeat again that are very valuable to make sure that you fix them. All of these things you'll want to like somehow capture, and your platform will basically keep that for them. It's like really exposes it over MCP. Agents can start talking to it. They can do these round trips, and it really kind of takes advantage of that, but also approaches it from a actual security researcher background type of thing, where it's doing various vulnerability tests. One is like literally just going to your website and testing as if you're an external user. But the other part of it is to go deeper and say, like, give access to the code base. And then it itself will then start to like go through things and make sure that the security bugs it is finding is actually of higher signal and not just like not necessarily a hallucination, but maybe something in this training set. Can you talk a little bit more about these models, right? Because I feel like low key, they may be leaving vulnerabilities maybe because of how they've been picking up all the like open source code that it's been trained on sometimes has vulnerabilities left in because three-letter agents leave them in there on purpose. Like, and so if they see enough of those examples, they may accidentally make a backdoor into an app, whether you prompted it or not, right? So tell me more about how your software can also kind of look for these types of things.
yeah. So like you said, like we didn't get ChatGPT or all of these great models just with no data. We had to train it on the whole internet and on repositories and code, right? And humans make a lot of mistakes. That's what makes us human, right? And these mistakes are, and not necessarily mistakes, but sometimes we saw a study. I don't know if you remember from who. They ran like 80. They told AI like different models to make like an authentication system or like a simple login or like different things, like 80 of them, and it didn't care about security 45% of the time. It just like completely
Yeah, got one vulnerability at least on 45% of the generated code. and that's generally what you will ask with the AI. And as you know, right now on GitHub, I think almost half of the code is has some AI generation. So basically, every single month we're generating more code with AI. So uh, this is growing like exponentially. So we need like fast solutions because we're getting a lot of vulnerabilities every single month. We get more and more. We discover one like 0 day. We will announce it later when we can, in a big public repo with HackZero.
Yeah,
We cannot say because,
yeah.
but we will announce it soon as we are able to do that. But it's interesting. It's interesting. We're shipping a lot of code and also a lot of vulnerabilities.
Okay, so someone is like in a highly regulated industry like healthcare, law, things where you're charging and you do require some more security scrutiny. People are recognizing, well, like this isn't a cheap product, but if you ever do type of testing like this for security, it's 15 to 20K typically for. I mean, these engineers get paid a lot of money because it involves very critical systems. If you lose data for all these customers, you're like in these $1 million+ lawsuits, and charging 15 to 20K for like one run is like kind of nothing to them. And how should us as builders who may not be at that level yet um, also think about security? It sounds like there's, people may not be aware that it could be generating some things. I like to use some of the stuff that's off the shelf. Like I use, Clerk for my authentication. I'm not trying to write my own auth from scratch. I use established providers like Convex, and they already have these working relationships, and they have engineering teams who are already kind of solving these things. That's kind of some of my best practices. I don't try to roll my own auth from scratch because I know there's a lot of edge cases, and I don't even try to get to them. But I mean, is that the right way to do it, especially if you're just starting out prototyping and building, just so you get downstream a lot of things? I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, so you don't really like want to reinvent security from scratch, right? You want to, use these open source things that are, have been audited for a while. But regardless, like this is where Blackbox really shines because yeah, these apps or these different platforms or vendors are, giving you these platforms to do this, but they sometimes require you to configure something. And if you misconfigured that thing, or you didn't know that you could even configure that thing, the Blackbox will just find it. So if you disable like row level security or something like that on Supabase, Supabase is secure, just didn't enable it or and the Blackbox just found it. So
I
it's not
see.
only using the tools, but knowing how to use them, and this is where our product really shines. So
Okay, that's a really good point. So like even just for doing one run, you can say, "Oh, I didn't like Firebase. It left the all of the user files so that everyone can see them." And it's kind of a repeatable pattern that an agent can figure out to grab everyone's files by running a
yeah,
script.
or maybe I was too lazy 2 months ago setting up my Fire based rules, and I just left it like everyone can read and everyone can write, and I just forgot about it. I just started getting more and more users, and then like I'm Marcus Brownlee, and my wallpapers get leaked, and so you know,
I see. So it'll find stuff like that that maybe the AI agents will or will not find if you prompt them, but they kind of have to think in this very special way. This is a really good question that someone also was talking about here. Can you give a rough estimate of how much better like HackZero is compared to other vulnerability scanners like Nessus or OpenVAS?
yeah. So I guess better is an interesting word, but everybody covers different things. I think some of these vulnerability scanners, they have a lot of templates for things, but sometimes they can get like rate limited, or like if you have like a firewall,
We can tell about the benchmark. We've been running the Expo benchmark.
yeah, I think we should probably hold off on that a little
Okay,
bit.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes you need you have like a firewall, or you have things that are blocking you to do that, so you cannot send like 1,000 requests, and it's gonna take a while, right? And you have to like download everything and
Things that you feel like, I mean, because they're super early and people can kind of try this out. Who are the people that you're really trying to reach the most that would be really insightful for you guys to reach to, at this stage right now?
yeah, yeah. So security is really a thing for everybody, right? Right now, if you are like a startup and really can't afford to pay like 50K for a pen test, and you really care about your security and you don't want to get a bad reputation because somebody hacked your thing, you should probably try it out, and it's free. We really are just looking for feedback on our product, trying to reduce friction, trying to like if anything didn't work or you didn't like something or we could improve something, that is insanely more valuable to us than money right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just try it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
So it's
and
free.
also
They just put their domain name and say get started, and then they'll just get free test.
Yeah, you have to do a little like more steps, like verify your DNS settings
Okay.
or like whatever. But yeah,
Also, we recommend a lot for regulated industries because generally it's very expensive to do a manual pen test. So for IPA compliance, SOC 2, PCI, or ISO, it's very helpful. Also, if you are fundraising, you can save some money by doing AI penetration testing instead of manual pen testing.
That's amazing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, especially if you have a product that's going out and it's picking up a lot of progress and people are wanting to, do that. I think that's definitely a cool way to go. And I'm really happy to have just bumped into you guys at the Cursor Compile event. It was a really, really fun event to kind of hang out and kind of see what they're cooking with. I mean, they got the GitHub Origin thing going. They got like competitor, they got the new model. And a lot of really cool stuff going on. So I think, on that note, I think what I should probably start doing is put on my little compile hat. And as promised for people, yeah, right, yeah. Did you guys get? You did get one. You got a Cursor one, right? Yeah.
I did.
Let's go.
Oh,
the other way, yeah. Awesome. Oh, you got the pins too, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got my little Codex keys. My little keys. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah, those are awesome.
This is how I code. I just go like this. Yes.
Tap. Yes. Continue no permissions. Yeah.
Continue no permissions. YOLO. Insert all of the bugs. Yeah, that's the value. So, yeah, you guys got dripped out. Wait, did you guys get a keyboard too?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
What's your config? Did you put it together or what colors and stuff?
No, not yet. We're actually going to join a group where everybody's gonna do the keyboards at the same time and do networking. Like
it's gonna be in a couple of hours. Yeah. If you want to come by.
Wait, where?
Yeah, I can see the link. It's
okay.
It's gonna be Korea versus Mexico, soccer thing, whatever, and everybody's gonna build their keywords.
Wait, it's Mexico versus who?
Korea.
Oh, Korea. Oh, wow. Yeah. Heck yes, dude. Wait, is this in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm right now in the South Bay. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
That's funny. Maybe I should do an IRL stream from there. That'd be crazy. All people, police is coming. All we're gonna hear all day is gonna be like, go.
Yeah.
So, how is the Korean team? I have no clue. Like, what do you think?
No idea, man.
No idea.
What do you think? I'm not really. I never watch soccer. I just like whenever is the World Cup. That's what I just root for Mexico.
Exactly. Yeah. I was walking by the streets of Mountain View and I saw all the Colombian people like all dressed up, like they had like the horns and everything. And like when they made the first goal, it was like so loud on the streets. It was crazy. Like people were watching all over in the bars and stuff. It was funny because like. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's right. The games are being played right now. I was like, who's playing? So that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna just continue this stream, and just gonna like do mine right now. So if you wanna like, for those who are watching, I know like we had another live stream and kind of cut off. So the promise for today's stream was that I was actually supposed to do it last night, but I didn't do it last night. But I actually even have like a secondary camera so that we can kind of like unbox this thing because this is going to be really, really cool. So we're gonna hang out and kind of see if we can do that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having on the stream, stopping by. HackZero.ai. Definitely check them out. Still in the earliest stages of things. You're probably going to be seeing more of them later on because they're going to blow up. Like you've seen them here first. Like this is going to be insane. And like, yeah, reach out to them. They're really cool guys based in the Bay Area, also in Mexico, back and forth. I think they're going to be spending a lot of time in the Bay Area. They're going to be probably in a lot of demand very soon. And this is going to be something that's really, that's what's up. So cool. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. And then, feel free to reach out. Let me know. The door's always open to have you guys come back on the stream anytime. You got some new updates Let me know what's going on. I'm really kind of curious to see how things continue to evolve for you guys.
Cool.
Amazing.
Okay.
Awesome. See you guys. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, that's basically HackZero, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I'm super hyped today because today we got a fire stream. Let me show you some stuff real quick. So I'm gonna make this go down here and then go this here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna assemble. We are gonna put together the brand new Cursor, the Cursor keyboard. So I have not done a formal unboxing video in a little while, and this is probably gonna be a really fire one. So you are seeing this first time because I have not even done this myself, right? So like we're gonna experience this right here live, the Cursor. So at the Cursor event, we got the fancy keyboard. You can see some of my keys in there. I got the white keycaps with the color keys in there. So we're gonna put together some of what this looks like. These are the keycaps that go on top of that. On top of that, we also got my switches. So in the switches here, I got the silent keycaps, so that way I can click and everything. It'd be pretty cool. I know some people like the clicky ones, but I'm not kind of a big fan of those. I also have the clicky ones back there because I have other Keychron keyboards, but I think I'm just gonna stick to the full thing. I also got like a custom cursor keycap, so that's gonna go in the custom spot, probably where the option key is. So that's what's up. Bro, Keebly approves this. Yeah, really cool, right? Yeah. Let's see. What is the most common vulnerability in using the V0? I think what I would do is I would hit up that agent thing, and then that's actually a really good question. I'll actually ask them about that, like people who vibe code with these apps, because I'm pretty sure there's some pretty interesting stuff that's hanging out there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and kind of get this together. Yeah, for those who don't know, let me go ahead and see if I could pull up the XAI post, because there's a lot of stuff that was going on at the Cursor event. I don't want to spill this thing, so I'm going to put this on the side. And I kind of want to show you real quick of like some of the sauce and stuff. So at the event, I'll show you, I think I put a lot of stuff on Twitter, so you'll see some of this stuff there. So I got to meet some folks like Morgan, if you haven't seen. So let me go ahead and put this here. So yeah, I got to see Morgan in real life. He does look like his profile picture, which is pretty cool. This is like kind of a fun thing. This is the line. The line was massive for these, like getting these keyboards. And then they had these cool tables so that you can actually put together your little keycaps and stuff. So these were all the configurations that you could have put together up there. So sorry, this is really bad. So let me see if can I click in? No? Okay. So in here, you can see there's like the light color. That's the one I got right there. So that's the one at the very top that we're kind of pointing at. Other people got the dark ones. I got the light one because I like the light color. It's perfect because I have a white desk, so we'll be doing that. And then what else did we get here? So we have that. These were the different keycaps that Ben put. So I got the orange one. I know some people got the purple one. There's these other ones as well. I think the orange one was pretty fire, to be honest. And then yeah, this is like Michael talking about that. There's a lot of different announcements. Damn. I hope we'll have something as well for Cursor private PH events. Oh yeah. I think ask them. I think this is gonna become a thing, to be honest. It's really funny if they make most of their money from selling keyboards. But yeah, all right. Without further ado, I feel like we gotta like drum roll, like get right into this thing. So let's go ahead and see if I can take this apart and do some things. So I think with my little light here, I might have to put it aside and kind of retire the light a little bit, so we make more room for my guy. Or I might do it this way so that like I have the light in a different position, because I like the light and it provides a lot of really nice softness to it, but it low-key might be getting in the way right now. So we'll be putting this over here. Yeah, I think we'll do that way. Okay, cool. So this is probably a little bit easier. And I still keep some of the vibes. Charge my light. Yeah, so we're gonna get serious. I'm just setting up the scene right now. So this is a big thank you. I want to thank everyone who's been really patient to hang out with us. Last night on stream, I actually open sourced or made an open source version of Pebbles. That way you can use the real-time agent. It's currently available right now if you just go to my GitHub. So if you just do https://github.com/ at Ray Fernando 137. So here is my GitHub. And then in here, I have it's called the minimal real-time kit. So in here is the actual bring your own GPT voice time thing. So you can basically have your own version of the agent. For those who don't know, I touched 0 chats. The Cursor agent spun up and made all of these commits. And we, from our plan, were able to do what I'm coining as, loops are dead. Waves are the new thing. Everyone's talking about loops. Your favorite YouTuber is talking about loops, but no one is talking about waves. So waves are really where it's at. I come from the Bay Area. I spend a lot of time in Hawaii. I see these things called waves, and the waves are the future. And the reason why is because you can make software. One thing about a loop that sucks is that you can keep giving it a bunch of money and it will burn through all your money. One thing about a wave is that there's a shape to a wave and it's sort of defined and it kind of dies away. And so when you're thinking about developing software, you want to think about in terms of waves of work to be done. And so the more important waves are going to be the waves that come in to verify a task that's been done. So I have actually built an entire skill that you get for free. And this is what we demonstrated yesterday. rfer.me/skills. So if you go to this URL here, I'll get into what the Cursor keyboard looks like. And I also want a big shout out to Adrian, who just became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the live stream. Hats off to you because you're a real MVP. I really do appreciate the support there for becoming a member. That's just amazing. I want to call that out. Big shout outs. If you go to this link here that I just linked up right there, it's currently in the chat. This is my skill set. And in this skill set, I'm going to rename this parallel orchestrate into wave because this is the new movement. I have a whole article that I'm about to write, a whole YouTube video dedicated to this because on yesterday, what we discovered on stream is that we can get Fable-like performance, Fable-like deliverables, Fable-like behavior if and only if we have the agent do this looping and wave-like behavior. So loops are kind of a burning token. Loops can be great if you know how to shape them, but the better description for what we're actually doing is just shaping waves, right? We make waves of work to be done, and that's kind of what we're like really all about right now. So like that's the new movement. We're coining it here first. You're hearing about it first. And I'm giving you access to those skills for free. Literally, like there was so much sauce yesterday, I just couldn't even contain myself. I was supposed to be a short 1 hour stream. We went crazy. We made the skills. We made a full blown, like it ran through and planned everything in Cursor just in one shot, extracted all the code pieces. I even left the research that it did in that just one fan out pattern that it did. It broke everything down for how we should compose this minimal real-time app, right? It even gave it snippets from my own code base to decompose my entire app. It's a pretty big app, but I didn't want to have my full-on app available. I just wanted to make an open source version of it. So it did that. It got the different API references that it got from my different things. It even understood the composition. So this is using Claude Opus 4.8. And this is what Fable would do if I just kind of let it run with just a regular prompt. And you're getting that capability in that skill file, which is no one's doing this online on YouTube or anything like that, right? We're pretty much, we moved on from loops. We're doing waves. Waves are where it's at. And so in this skill file with parallel orchestrate, this will work for Cursor and it'll also work for Codex. And the Codex has a thing for spawning subagents here and in a config toml where you can set the levels. And the levels are already set from the way that I want the agents to behave, but you can adjust them if you want. You can even use different agents as well. So that's kind of what we have there for that type of thing. So let's see if I can kind of show you some of the parallel orchestrate stuff. So one of the more important principle here in what a wave is defined for, it's similar to a loop, right? You start in a serial manner. That's how you start to shape the wave, right? You're like, okay, do not fan out blind. This is the most important part. This is how you save those tokens. This is how you optimize those things. We're going to send a few cheap tool calls in the main session to learn the shape of the problem. This is how you shape the wave. This is the beginning of how you shape AI agents to go after your stuff without burning through all of your code. And then we're gonna, like, once it understands what it needs to do, it's gonna stage the data when it's remote or messy and like that. And then like decompose it into these independent slices, depending on the task it needs to do. And then that's where it's gonna do the fan out. That's the wave that's gonna start to take place, right? Once the wave goes out, it's gonna collect things and synthesize them and then send more waves depending on what work needs to be done. And then the most important part of the wave to close it all out would be the verification phase, because nothing is going to be assumed here to be true. All of these are like basically tasks to be done. And then we're going to come back and assume that, they still need to be verified. And that's like probably the bigger unlock here that will save you more money, because if it just keeps looping, if your first wave like got poisoned by what it thought to be true and you don't have secondary waves to verify in different context windows, then you start to poison your results and you start to loop and burn money, and nobody wants that, right? So we ship software using this wave technique that is absolutely fire. You can get for free, get this stuff started. So I'll have more information on this. I'll have a dedicated video so you can get your setup. If you're so inclined and you want to go ahead and just start plugging in right now because you just can't help yourself, tell your AI agent to look at the skills repo about Parallel Orchestrate and how you can get this set up to start doing it. And I will have some dedicated videos, prompts, and I'll even have a dedicated blog post for this so that you can kind of start digging through this. But this is the new movement. You heard it here first. And let's go ahead and start getting cracking on this keyboard. So now that I have my little light set up appropriately and got the cam set up, I want to see if I can take a look at, I can control my camera over here too. So let me go ahead and get some of these windows and stuff out of the way. Sorry. This is a kind of a messy process, but we're trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure this out live with you guys. This is really cool. So we're going to start doing, okay, so we have this here. I might even move this keyboard off to the side a little bit because this could probably just kind of hang out here. And then we have this guy, and then we have this guy over here too. So let me remove this as well. All right, so what's going on? Hermes is already on it. Real cooks do wave engineering, bro. The beta that you are cooking, bro. That's the one. Wave engineering. We are wave. Oh, that hits. That hits, bro. Wave engineering. My guy is genius. We went from Ralph to Loop to Wave. Oh, okay. I really like this. Yeah, like wave engineering. We're like literally shaping the waves. I mean, it's physics. Waves are everything. Like I love this whole wave movement. Yeah, we're on that wave, right? So after every wave, humans review and approve. You can do the human in the loop experience, or you could do agent in the loop. Totally up to you, right? How much then? So I review at the final stage, right? So if I just wanted to implement phase 0, I would just do that and I would do review, which I have done before. For certain products that I'm shaping that are really large, I will do reviews at different stages. So I'll kick off a QA review and then I'll do a human review just to insert more taste or change the direction of where I'm going. For a product that I've already prototyped, for example, Pebbles, I already kind of know like real time works. This doesn't work. This does work. So I've already did a lot of that pruning with like my audience / me offline. And when I made the spec for building the open source version of it, I just kind of shaped it by itself and let it do its own testing. So I already had a lot of confidence. And from the plan that it's shaped out, it already had a lot of code snippets too. So when you inspect it, you'll see those snippets of code. And I did a quick review manually, just taking a look. I was like, yep, those are the patterns that I'm using. It picked up a lot of information like my factory patterns, the UI patterns. It even pulled in the UI kit stuff that I was doing for multi-touch gesture things. So that way you have this like way of laying out stuff in the app. So your Swift UI stuff doesn't steal all of your gestures. You can actually have them interact with cards and other stuff that are overlapping. It is really, really crazy, but it's cool. But yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking about that. Good question though. That's a really good question. Let me see if I can get my other keyboard is going to sit here. So the other keyboard that I have, that I'm still using is called the Knob 1 keyboard. So this Knob 1 keyboard is probably my favorite keyboard of all time. Like really good weight. The keys are nice and springy, and it is extremely pricey. It's like $500, but it's probably the best $500 I've ever spent. It's got some good weight to it. So that's why I'm really curious about the Keychron keyboard. I may not even use the Keychron full time, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So I'm gonna put these keycaps aside for now, and then let's go ahead and take a look at the actual Cursor Compile Edition keyboard that we have here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is from Cursor Keychron. Let's go. Man, this hat is really hot right now, so I need to open up the atrium in a bit. So let me go and do that. All right, so I'm gonna open it up from the back with our nylon probe tool. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is fancy. DJ Ray. All right, cool. So I'm taking off the plastic. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. Let me open up the atrium. It's hot. Okay, I'm gonna put the compile hat right here. That way y'all can see this. To me, it's really hot right now. I gotta drink some water. Okay. So we have the black color compile, and this is gonna be our first unboxing. Let's go. Hey. Okay. Okay, how many seconds does this thing take to come out? Oh, okay. All right. So here's the keyboard, and then let's see what's going on now. So I have this here, and so what we have here is the quick start guide for us to get started. So we have that there, also with this little thing in the back for all the warranty things. I'm gonna put that right here, and then we have this guy. And then in this box, we have the paraphernalia. So this is all the stuff about the Keychron things. And then you'll be able to kind of see this from here. So this is the Keychron paraphernalia. We have the user guide that we probably don't really need. We have the Keychron, like the key, actual key types. So make sure the switch and pins are straight in before inserting the switch. Otherwise, you can bend them, obviously. So definitely are straight before inserting the switch in. Perfect. To be honest, they look straight as well. Okay. And then we have the sticker pack. So this is a Keychron sticker pack. This is pretty cool. Amazing, right? Yeah. Hey, Claw. You /wave my project. That's awesome. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. All these projects are pretty crazy. So let's see. All right, cool, fam. Let's get this down here. Awesome. All right, so the moment that we've been kind of waiting for is the keyboard. So what does this keyboard look like? Here's what we have here so far. I think this is like the little USB stuff. Here's the base of the keyboard. So this is the Keychron V1 Max. It says an open source customizable keyboard for peak productivity. So the whole point of this is to have peak productivity. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have it, peak productivity. Yes. I think we basically have peaked, ladies and gentlemen. So this is it. Let's go ahead and see if I can unbox this. Oh my goodness. So this is the base for our keyboard. And the way this even has like a little bit of a knob thing that we're kind of tweaking out here. And then this is kind of like the front part you can kind of see, and like this is like the underside. And it even has these little legs that we can kind of switch up. So I'll show you off a little bit like right here. So this is kind of like the knob. And then we also have these like USB, I think it's like the USB, a wireless USB thing. So I just plug this in wirelessly to my computer. And then if I wanted to, I think I could also do like the USB-A as well. So that also works as well back here. So that's what we're doing with. And then if we wanted to do the wired or wireless, we can kind of have some of those switches there. You can kind of see. Yeah. So those are the different types of swings. What's interesting is that you can see we have room to, this whole thing is basically the base template, and we're going to insert all of the different switches into this type of thing. And I have all of the switches right here. So I got the silent switches, the G6 ones that you can choose. You can choose the clicky ones. You can choose something in between. So I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna have to do that. So that's this guy here. So we're gonna build our little keyboard live. I should probably have ordered lunch. We also have the thing that will actually pull out the keys once we have the keys in there. So that's pretty important to have. And then we also have the USB-A to USB-C converter thing in here. And lastly, we also have some of the tools that we'll may not need actually. And then obviously the cable. Here's even more USB-C's, A's, cables, conversion things. And then we have the golden keys. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to figure this out. We're going to do it live. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it live. This is all big shout outs to Cursor, Cursor Compile event, 2026, their inaugural event, gave everyone a keyboard. And I don't think I've seen anyone do any recordings live, but we're just going to be hanging out, kind of putting this together as a big thank you for everyone who's been kind of hanging on. To watch me kind of do these various things with my streams. So it's going to be a little bit of a fun build event, something a little bit different than I've done before, but I think we can figure this whole thing out, right? So I'm going to put this stuff back here and some of these things. I don't think I need the user manual too much, but we'll leave that out just in case. And then we have this guy. So, and then I'll put this guy back onto here. So that way we have it. It's pretty cool. Did you see Fable Watch? No, I did not. What's Fable Watch? I want to hear how it clicks. I think we're gonna get a little bit more about that. W for productivity. Yeah. No, this is gonna be really fun. Yeah, this is gonna be a productive stream. What I should do is probably just get vibes, get some music-free stuff, so that we can just kind of vibe out. All right, so let's go ahead and see if I can take a look. I think now that we have this guy kind of revealed up here, I'm gonna leave them there for now. I think the other part that's going to be really interesting are these keycaps. So let me just see if I could show you some of those. I mean, I'm already kind of... I think I've juggled a lot around, and I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, but we're going to figure this thing out, right? So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just go over here and just kind of use my nylon probe tool and probe away. Okay, just kind of hook this here. I think everything is just going to fly all over the place, to be honest. I have no clue. Okay. I'm trying to be a little bit careful for this because, I mean, I could get keys on the floor, but whatever. This is cool. All right, so now that I have one side open, there's got to be... Okay, so looks like... I think the way to open it is probably this way. Okay, so... Yeah, so the way that I'm looking at it is... In this side is that, see how the keys are kind of facing up? These keys. So you can see the shape has this rectangle, because the bottom is basically like this. So we want the shape to face up in this manner. And that's what we're doing here. So if I do it this way and open it this way, that means all my keys are going to be facing up. If I do it this way and I open it, then all the keys are going to face down and they would just fall out from the bottom. And so that's kind of why I want to do it this way. So this is going to be the way that I'm going to basically slide out the keys, and then we'll see the color. You'll see the color scheme that I got, and we'll see kind of how that looks like there. So let's go ahead and slide this guy out. So we're sliding this out for our first time. Are you guys ready? Drum roll, please. You're going to see the cool key combo that I got. I told you a little bit of what it looked like earlier in the stream, but we're going to see it. I'm going to see it for real life. That face though, right? Yo, check this out. So check this out. I think this is gonna be the big reveal. I don't want to flip it forward because all my keys will fall out, but check this out. You get to see this firsthand. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. So this is basically what my keyboard is gonna look like when it's all said and done and put together. It's gonna look something like this. So these are the keys that I got, and then this little cursor key would be probably like the option key down here. So that guy would just be down here. This is going to be my new Fire keyboard. Oh, this is it. This is exciting. I don't know why I've never been. This is crazy. Yeah, let's see if I can grab one of the keys out. So some of the keys have flipped around like the W. So the W key, let's do the W. This is the W key. This is looking fire. You can see them right here. So I'll put the W down here. I'll put like the E. Oh, okay. These are cool. This is awesome. We got the Q. Ooh. And then you also, like, I like these color keys, especially on the side for like the tab. That's kind of fire. Like, I really like this different color. And then you got a little bit of brown on the side too. That's really cool. So what's interesting is also they have like a second subset of keys for the arrow keys. So they have like the, let me see if I can kind of show you because I have a white desk. But basically they gave me some like arrow keys plus I think the delete and the page up and page down keys. I don't know who does that these days, but yeah, that's page up, page down. Because I don't know if, I think these are probably custom configurable on the side. And that's probably what you can configure. Like you can probably configure 3 custom keys here that you want. And that could be like the delete, page up, page down, or we could even have like the cursor key where this could be like a cursor hot button on the side. And then maybe, you know, I launch something, but actually that doesn't look like it. It doesn't even fit there. So yeah, the custom cursor key would be, yeah, it would have to go down here and like as an option key or something at the bottom. So that's kind of where probably would fit. Yeah, that's what's up. That's fire. So fire. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me put this back onto this guy. That way I don't lose it. And see what's up. Question. I've tried out Cursor Pro and want to give it a go. How much does usage do you get for the $20 a month on Claude and Codex? So I don't know if you get much more usage. The higher the plan that you pay for, the more usage you get. So if you pay $100, you tend to get more than $100. If you pay $200, I've noticed I got $400 to $500. When I made the soccer game, I think I got an entire month usage. Well, the whole game in 12 days using Opus, GPT-5, and Composer, I think I did it in under $200 or around $200. And then the usage I got after that was probably around $400 to $500. I mean, so total I probably like got out of it was 2 to 3x of the plan. And then they have like usage deals right now. Sometimes like you can use, you know, X Composer for a month or like it's 1x usage for certain things. So that's kind of what happens, especially with new models coming out. But yeah, I think the best, if you're using Composer, especially getting started, or if you're using Cursor, Composer model will get you probably like the most bang for your buck. For $20, it's pretty like low for most coding plans, especially depending on how serious you are. So just kind of beware. That's what's up. Yeah, how's it going, man? Looks so cool. Clean Lego vibes. Yeah, the Lego vibes for the keyboard definitely are the things. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, doing pretty good, man. Great info. Thanks. Yeah, this is Greg. How's it going? Yeah, that's what's up. I don't know what Fable Watch is, but we'll figure it out. Okay. So now that I've shown you a little bit of like the cool, colorful keyboard things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these guys back up to make sure I kind of don't drop them, because that would be kind of a shame. And then I think in here, it came in with like another little like keyboard scraping thing. So we'll have this tool. Okay. So we have these guys here. I will put these probably to the side for now. I got a lot of stuff going on over here. So yeah, we'll see. I'll put them kind of right here. Whoops. Oh my God. I'm dropping stuff. Okay. So this will go probably here. I also have to turn on the AC in here because it's so freaking hot. Let's see, air. Yeah, I need to turn on the. Let me go take care of that. Let's see. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So this first thing that we have to build out right now are all the switches. So all the switches will have to go in here. And then these are all my switches that I have. I'm gonna get rid of some of this plastic stuff here. Just curious what you guys are building or what you're currently working on. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna try to see if I could switch back and forth and kind of check up on some of the progress for certain things that I'm working on. So one of the things that I'm working on right now, if you haven't been following along, is I've been kind of open sourcing a couple projects. One of them is this real-time kit that I have here. So let me see if I can pop open Cursor and show you real quick. So I'll do that right now. Okay, because I was just running some stuff right now and you can kind of see what's going on with the agent. Let's see. Okay. So we have this guy here. So what I did also was give everyone access to Exa. I'm not sure if it added this as well, but this is kind of what we kicked off for the task to be done. It pretty much ran for, I think it was like 20 minutes for one of the tasks and 30 minutes for the next task to do the things. And this is just all, I didn't really have to touch it at all. And what we did was, this should show up some of the testing results here. So what I did was I wanted to make sure that when you use the real-time voice that you can also do like a really fast web search. And I like Exa, so I basically gave that into here. And this added all of those things and even did some testing as well for it. So now I think we should be able to launch it and check this stuff out there. So if you want to check out this repo, just go to my Ray Fernando 1337 on my GitHub. I have a minimal real-time kit that you can check out there, as well as the Ray Fernando skills file that you can go ahead and drop some stuff in there. And so that way you can play around with something that's real-time, and then you can bring your own key. So when you put the key, it'll basically save it locally on its own keychain. So you can build and run and tap the OpenAI key and then bring your own key as well. So I also added Exa for the web search as well. So you can have a real-time agent, sub 200 milliseconds, super fast, and you'll be able to talk to this guy. And basically, yeah, you'll have a working streaming voice agent and so forth. So yeah, this was all done just by prompting our way in, but I already kind of had everything configured for you. So definitely go check that stuff out while I go ahead and put together the keys and stuff here. And let me know if you got it up and running and kind of got that stuff there. So that's what's up. Yes, thank you. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead, while this is going, let's go ahead and kind of get some of the keys up and running here. So the first thing we have to do is get a couple of these out. And I believe we just have to put them in like so. So I think, what does it say? So the quick start guide is if you've already connected the computer to the computer. I don't think there's like a quick build guide, but it should be pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm just looking at this and looking at the connectors. And so the way that the connectors are configured are, you have basically, see those like a couple of dots at the very top here, up here at the very top, those 1, 2, and then that little white thing, that little circle in the middle. So those is, and then what I want to do here is take a look at these guys. Let's see if I can grab one of these here. So in a similar fashion, you'll see the 2 little prongs at the top that would go at the top, and you see that little white dot. And it should just basically slide in just right up that, like that, and we should be good to go. So in here, all I have to do is kind of something like that here. So let me go ahead and slide in. It's looking pretty good. Hopefully I don't bend it, dang. Okay. Okay, that's it. It just clicks. Yeah, it doesn't move or it doesn't do anything. Okay, cool. So what I want to do is do my up and down arrows too. So these little prongs. I think I really appreciate the fact that the folks didn't have like the keyboards pre-built, because part of this whole journey is to like, you know, build your own keyboard for the first time. And like, I don't think I've actually ever done this, because I've always ordered keyboards already built for me. This is actually my first like introduction to sort of building it for myself, because I have had a Keychron keyboard before, and you know, building it yourself is kind of fun, and building it with you on stream is kind of also fun too. I've never done that before. So we get to kind of hang out and chat, and feel free to ask any questions. This is a really good time to kind of hang out and see, like, I'm kind of curious, like what you're building, what's kind of new to you, what do you find to be really fun? Have you tried any of these projects? Are you into this new way of coding like that I'm doing, that we're pioneering? It's called Wave, right? So Wave is kind of like a fun little concept here. And so to make this not so boring, what I'm thinking about doing, and maybe you can shoot me in the foot now, but as I'm going to put together like a set of keys first. For example, we just put together the arrow keys, And then what I want to do from here is then just put the other keycaps on top as well. So I have these keycaps here, and the arrow keys are pretty much not here. Where are my arrow keys? Okay, the arrow keys are in the other batch here. And then the arrow keys I'll probably put together first, you know. So I'll see. I have the delete. Actually, I'll leave this here. So I don't want to get too lost in the things, but I think this is kind of what I'll do. I'll just grab those keys here. So arrow key 1. So so this arrow key 1. This will just be up. I think it just goes in like so. Okay. Oh, this is cool. So when I do it here, see, can you hear the sound? It sounds kind of funny, huh? Yeah, that's the key. Okay, cool. It sounds legit. To me, it sounds pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I like the sound. Let's see. Luckily, I can use my cursor credits that I got from Cursor events. Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you have cursor credits, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you can use some of the cursor credits for that. Yes. Adrian, you're so cool, man. You're so cool. So I'm going to put this down here. So we'll have our first keys up. Let's see if I can get these going on. And then I'll get this other key up here. Let's see. I think what I'll do is I'll use the this keyboard tool to grab the keys out, because the plastic thing is a little bit unreliable for me, but this will be probably a lot faster way to pull it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, yeah, this is much easier. It's like a chopsticks, basically. So, oh shoot, hopefully I don't break it. Imagine me breaking this thing already, just out the gate. Okay. Okay, cool. Then one more key. Cool. I wish one day that you can 3D print the whole thing. That would be pretty fire, actually. That would be super fire if you can 3D print the whole thing. Let's hope the stabilizers don't need looping. Yes, I heard about this. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. It feels okay so far. Where things deteriorate, Maria, I think are going to be when I go to the ocean. So if I take this keyboard over to Hawaii, then the ocean will wear everything away. Like just the salty air. Like I'll definitely need to add some type of lubing to these things so that way they can last a lot longer. You know, because yeah, it's not going to be pretty when I go to the ocean. Let's see. I'm trying to get the key out. It's just having a hard time right now. Okay, perfect. Cool. So let's see. All right, we're going to have our first set of keys in, and then I'll show you what that looks like in 1 second. So we have the last of our arrow keys. Is it in? All right, cool. So I have WASD basically, but I have the actually real up and down arrow keys. Just for funsies, you can kind of see what this looks like. I'm going to feel like a hacker, you know? So we got the white. And so this is kind of what it's looking like so far. And our color combo is going to be like the light color combo. And this is going to be kind of what it looks when I have the whole thing together, along with the white keycaps. And then we have the blue on the side with the green, like the tab, and then the little brown. Oh. I gotta be careful because I can almost drop this thing, you know? And so the way that everything's kind of laid out, because I'm kind of doing this, trying to show everyone, this is kind of what it would look like. And I'll have like the little greens on the side, and I'll have like the tabs and the shifts and everything, the option keys down there. And then I have my one cursor keycap here. And this cursor sole keycap will probably go where the Windows key or the, for my case, the Apple logo key is. And that'll be like my thing for, I don't know what it is. It's just kind of a cool thing. So that's what's up. I'm a keyboard snob, and I live 15 meters from the beach in Portugal. Yes. Yeah, you probably know what's up. I wish one day. Okay, yeah, we talked about that and use Claude code to map the keys. That'd be really interesting. So like Claude Code will literally just build everything for us. All right, so like I think the next section I should work on would probably be some of the colorful areas. I think what I'll do is probably, yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. So let's go and do some of that. So what is the key that I actually put on? I have no clue. So what I'm going to do is take a look at the keyboard now. I'm going to flip it this direction so that way I can look at it now. And then I can take a look and see, okay, what specific keys from here that I should kind of start putting on here. So I think what I'll do is I'll put the escape key in the corner. We got to do the escape key. The escape key is next, right? So escape key would be up here, up top left. I have to kind of push this thing in. Okay, it makes a little clicky sound. Pulling these things out are going to be interesting, but luckily they gave us like the tooling that we need for it, like some of these tools and stuff. I don't know exactly all of the specific ones that we need, but it's probably some combination of these guys. So I think this thing at the bottom would be the one that would pull out the actual switch, and then the one at the other side, which just looks like little chopsticks, that guy will then swap out the top part. So the top part, and then the other part will just pull out the switch. I have one of these because I have another Keychron keyboard that I've used, but yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, we have this guy. Let me get the escape key. Let's pull this guy out too. So I have the escape key and doing that guy. So we're going to get the escape. Perfect. I love this nylon probe tool. It's super useful. So here's the escape key, pulling out some of plastic stuff here. I think what's weird. Okay, perfect. Nice. I got my escape key. All right, so we got the we got the arrow keys, and then we got the escape key here. So, and then we got the. I feel like I'm playing a guitar. You know what I mean? Cool. Hey, Ray, got a ticket for you to meet Greg Brockman? No way. This afternoon, if you want to try to use it. I've met Greg Brockman at the OpenAI Dev Day. Commonwealth Club at 1:30. Probably, I won't be able to do that. Correct. With both Keycap and Switch Puller. Okay, yeah. CEO Box, CEO Perplexity, and a few others. Are you telling me this now, bro? It's like 1 o'clock already. Is it in the South Bay or is it up in San Francisco? Because I'm in the South Bay right now. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do the control option and let me do a space bar. So the space bar ones are these two at the bottom, and these two at the bottom are the ones we need to hit right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So the space bar key would be here, like probably the most important key on the keyboard because you use the most. And so let me grab a couple switches and then put these guys in here. So I think it's just one switch. It already has one built in, huh? Yeah. And this is cool because this is actually RGB keyboard. Oops. Can't mess this one up. And guess what? I'm going to mess it up. I think I'm starting to bend it low key. I might get a different switch for this. This is really important. I need to get this one right. Yeah. For whatever reason, this one's really hard to do. It just doesn't seat itself correctly. So I might have to do some finagling right now. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. Nope. Okay. Okay, I got it. Yay. Okay. Success. Success. Let me put this guy in. I think what's weird about the space key is maybe, did I put the right switch in? It's looking like it wants two of these guys, but I only have one. But I think that just means it's shifted, just shifted in a different direction. So yeah, that's correct. So I'm basically going to use this key here plus these ones, and then the one that's right next to it is not used. So I think it goes this way. Yeah. If you're a keyboard snob, Maria, do you have the knob 1 keyboard? I'm really curious. Like this little knob 1 that I have. Okay. If they have to bend, you have to place. If they bend, you have to place them in place. Okay. Place all the switches first. You know, you're right. I have to do all the switches first because if I don't do that, then I have to like maneuver around the keys and then like remove keys just to put the other stuff back in. So I think what I was trying to do is just trying to have some fun here for the stream, just so it doesn't look so boring. So that like if I just do all of these and it's just like click, 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 click. But yeah. But to me, I already have a video game to go. And I got a little knob. I feel like a DJ. You know, like they always turn the knobs and stuff. Like they're all like doing fancy stuff. They're like, oh my God, yeah. Like, oh my God, oh. It's like they're just tapping one key and they're just like, I think these things are supposed to light up. Like, I think the lights don't really work anymore. Yeah. They're just like, oh, we're like totally vibing right now. And they're just like, oh, the key's too high. I can't even keep my fingers on it. It's like, oh, I just got to turn it for a little bit. Oh, you know, it's just like, oh, yeah. We're just hitting the keys. I mean, that's what they're doing, right? Like if you're a DJ, that's like, you're just putting on a show. Cause like, really you're just listening to a song. You're like, okay, sounds pretty good. Hit the button. Okay, cool. But no one wants to watch a DJ just going like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Now that's cool. That's cool. No, they want to see them do the performance. They want to be like, oh man, that key's too hot. Okay, I got to wear the cool hat. Oh yeah, I'm vibing right now. This is vibes. You know, I can't play the song right now until I hit the oh. Yeah. Oh, oh, now we got the green lights, the blue lights. Oh yeah. Let's do it. And then like you just start like dancing with people and stuff. It's true vibe coding. I mean, that's what we do here. That's what we're going to do. Right? Yeah. I have the Neo 5, a low flow zoom, and can't continue. This is the best stream. All I'm doing is putting together, place all the switches first. Okay. I got you. Bro should have got a comb. A corn? What's that? Corn? Is that a keyboard? I'm really curious. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So I think I might follow her advice though. Low-key, I think she's really smart about this whole thing because I should probably be placing my switches first. And then from the switches, we move on to the other stuff. So I want to make sure these guys aren't too bent out of shape. So let me see if I can place this next guy. Yeah, because as you can see, some of these are going to get a little more challenging to place because they're so close to each other. So if I have keycaps that are kind of blocking the way, then it starts to get a little more challenging. So luckily these weren't too bent out of shape, but I should be doing that. But I kind of wanted to get some colors in there for y'all because like I think y'all need to see how this comes alive. And then I think the one I should place is that cursor cap. So I'm going to place that cursor cap right over here. All right, so let's place that cursor cap right next to the space bar. So that way we can just straight up vibe high. So if you haven't seen the cursor cap, this is the one and only exclusive. You can only have got this at the conference. So Cursor has agreed like to go into a deal like over a month ago with SpaceX with the option to be bought out for $60 billion. SpaceX has agreed to that as of Tuesday when I was at the event. Billionaires could not have bought their way into the event to get this keyboard, but we got this, fam. We got this, right? So that was really crazy, right? So like that's what's insane is that like you could be a trillionaire and not have gotten into the event, but we got this. We got the $1 trillion keyboard. But yeah, that's what's up. This is really funny. So let's go ahead and get this keycap up in here. No cap. Oh, okay. I'm like breaking stuff left and right. Let's go. Okay, here we go. with my knob. Do you guys want to see this plugged in? Let's plug her in. I think she needs to be plugged in, and like we need to see what the whole movement is about. So let's go ahead and I want to show you the RGB-ness behind this because this thing is about to be lit. Like low key, about to be lit. Like stupid lit. All right, let's get this thing lit. All right, fam, let's go ahead and I want to set this thing for a Mac. And then I want to see if about USB A. Okay, can we turn on the keyboard? Can I have no clue what's going on. I'm just vibing right now. I might be destroying this thing, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna do this for the fam. Does this even matter over here? Does it have to be connected? Do I have to approve on my Mac somewhere to connect this thing? I want to do the thing where like I'm just playing with the knobs and the music and stuff like that. I'm just kind of going DJ Ray Fernando. Today we are live playing around with the Cursor Keycaps, unlocking the next level of vibe coding. In vibe coding, he has the one and only Zelda key, which is the key to Cursor. If you press this key, you will get infinite credits. Infinite. Every key press means one more token added to your bank account. Token. Let's go. I'm vibe. I'm just giving everyone free tokens. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we have some of our keys set up so far. We got the escape key. I want to make sure my keyboards can escape. I want to make sure I can hit the space bar. I want to make sure I get the infinite tokens game. And then we got the maneuver. So this is how I'm just gonna, I don't need any other keys on my keyboard because to control my agents, I just have to vibe with the levels. And then all I have to do is just go up and down, hit escape for getting out of here, or just spam the credits button. That's all I need. This is my entire keyboard. Who needs keys? Why do we have to have keys on a keyboard anymore? We don't need this stuff. We could just like throw this stuff out. Right? I'm just gonna vibe like this. When I come live, we're gonna show up like this. I'm just gonna show up to a hackathon like this, just empty. They're gonna be like, "What's going on with your keyboard, bro? This is what we do." I thought you knew. In this new era, we just hit our arrow keys to go up and down. I don't even have a tab key anymore. I just had the cursor key down below. That just vibes me out. I just hit that button. I start yapping my ideas. I make my apps come into existence. If I don't like it, hit escape. If I hit spacebar, I can go. That way, while I'm waiting for my apps to be made, I can still play some games and stuff. So I'll definitely have the WASD up here, and then I'll have my little knob. So we'll be kind of vibing. But that's all we're doing. I'm just gonna show up to hackathons like this. Just pull up this keyboard, just like that. Boom, split like that. The people are gonna be like, "What happens to the rest of your keys?" Like, I don't need a keyboard. We just vibe. This is the next generation of coding that y'all didn't even know about that. I just talked to my agent anyways. Exactly. Gaudissimo, you get this, right? You're getting this, right? You're getting where this is going. Putting the rest of the keys on this keyboard is low key. I don't think we even need to go there. You just have to pull up and then they just see that cursor button and then you just spam it, right? Like, yeah, the comb is a split keyboard. Oh, I see. The best stream. I'm telling you right now, this is the best stream. No one's doing this right now. We're in here. We're doing this live. Yeah. So like literally just show up to a hackathon with something like this, where you got the cursor key. Like this is the Codex one. So this has got the Codex cloud, and you also have the Codex thing. So you push these little keys, they light up. This is definitely, you got to have this in the back pocket. You always got to get this in the back pocket. This is like your backup plan. So your backup plan, you're like Codex. Vibes. Just like boom. Spam the credits. Tebow, reset my limits. Tebow. That's all you do. You just like reset the limits. And then over here, now that we have the official cursor keyboard, this is all I got. This is what we're rolling with the hackathons. You know, we're maneuvering like this. Reset my credits. Let's go. Escape key. We got the escape key over here. We got vibes. This is all you hear at a hackathon. And then we got the little control knob, the DJ control knob. That's how we're gonna just be like, oh, but you can't touch the knob for more than like half a second because you got to treat the knob like it's lava. You're like, this is too hot. And they're gonna you just have to like dance like that. You'd like, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is what you do. Cursor compiled 2026. This is wave engineers don't need keys. The beta is a whole nother shape of engineering where you can actually start to like shape the waves, classify them, and send them out. And the good thing about waves is that they can be really big, they can be really small, they can come in sequences, and they pretty much kind of phase out. And that's what you want to do. When you're sending agents off into things, it kind of comes back to the basic physics principles, which are like waves, right? So things can behave like a particle, and they can kind of go, if they're being observed, and kind of go into one specific area. Or when you kind of don't observe them, they start to behave like waves and kind of do these cool patterns. There's a lot of really interesting, cool stuff that we're exploring here on the stream. But to be really serious here, though, there is this skill that I want to hook you up with called the Ray Fernando skills, rfer.me/skills. If you leave with anything in here, you're gonna like, we're rebranding this whole thing called. We discovered this last night when I was making my parallel orchestrator skill, because I was getting low-key Fable-like behavior with Claude Opus 4.8. This is not capping. I'm not capping at all. This is I'm not making any of the stuff up. This is not a fable. This is real stuff, real engineering. And so I was able to fan out multiple agents. But besides fanning out, we were able to control what we were doing. So instead of making a loop and controlling it, we discovered this thing called waves. So you can send them out to go do something, learn about the environment, shape the how much destruction it's going to do or not, right? So shape what it's going to do, and then kind of bring everything back into the fold, and then do another wave and another wave and another wave. So we have different waves of things that are defined in the skill files. I'm going to have a dedicated video on this, so don't freak out if you don't know about it, but you can already start pointing. Some folks have already been pointing to Hermes agents, and they've been cooking already with this here, right? This collection of skills is free. It's available on my GitHub, Ray Fernando skills. The alpha that's in here is worth thousands of dollars. People are taking my skills and putting them in private communities and then reselling them to other people. If you start seeing that, y'all need to call them out on it, and saying, hey, this skill is actually for free, and Ray Fernando is the one who invented that. So make sure you point them back over to where the skills are actually born from. We have the stuff that you need in here, and I'm going to have some more stuff about that. But there's like so much sauce in here, I don't want to get too far into it. But the future of agentic engineering is going to be wave engineering now. So it's like agentic engineering is cute, but we're moving on to waves, because waves are bigger. They can be shaped. They can have lots of different things that are going on. The only keys you need for your life right now are going to be that damn cursor key right here to get infinite credits. Just spam this key, infinite credits, the space bar, right? And then the up and down arrow keys, up and down, up and down. Make sure you can have a little control knob. You have to treat this knob like lava. When you're using this key in real life, you just can't touch it for longer than 3 seconds. You gotta be like, oh, it's too hot. It's too hot. You gotta be like dancing and stuff, like a DJ, like you see in the DJ booth. And then you have the escape key. So you're just like, just vibe. Just vibe with it. You're just like, yeah. Oh, extra credits. Okay. No. Okay, play some video games real quick. Score the goal. Okay, extra credits, spam the credits. Just like that. That's what you gotta do. Just vibe. Vibing on the streams, that's what we do. Vibe coders are banned from libraries. Bro, we don't vibe code here. We do wave engineering. This is wave engineering. I can imagine a room full of developers just talking out loud to their agents. You don't need to if you got waves, bro. If you got waves, your agents, I went to the beach. You can go to the beach. I went to sleep last night. We kicked off that whole thing. It produced that open source repo called the Minimal Real-Time Kit. So this real-time kit is not even minimal anymore. It is so jam-packed full of so much of my own sauce that I've done through various prototypes for basically using the GPT real-time voice, right? This has been 0 humans touch this code, but this code actually came from a really good place, right? A lot of the patterns and stuff that I've already researched and discovered, I'm pretty much just giving it to you all for free. Open source, if you want to read through it, have your agents read through it, because there's an insane amount of alpha in here, even just to how to build a really good fast behaving real-time app that includes search. And then on top of that, some of the patterns that you'll need to scale the app up if you want to do different views, include different things that you want to do. So that's architecture is kind of all laid out here. And there's snippets. So there's code snippets for what I was thinking for how I'm doing stuff in SpriteKit. So your agent has a lot of rich information so you can build up and ship an app to the App Store using some of these levels. And I also have some more information here. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to be building out Pebbles to be a app in the App Store. I've been using OpenClaw a lot for basically helping me in my health journey. So my goal is to get down to 10% body fat. And what's happening so far is I've been seeing a lot of success, taking pictures of things, telling it what I'm eating in the morning, and like a whole various amounts of things. But this is going to be part of a bigger transformation with these little widgets and other parts of the ecosystem that you're going to see me build live. And what I notice is that people are burning hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of tokens, plus $500 million's worth of tokens trying to build similar products. And what is kind of sad about it is that they may not even get to the same results. And that's kind of what I realized. It's like, okay, along the way while building this, I'm going to be sharing these skills live with you. So as I incorporate a certain thing, that's going to be available at that skills thing. As I build something, I'm going to try to open source it so that you can kind of catch up and then tell the agent to work from this good base and then build from there. So I'm going to teach you those techniques. I use various amounts of products. Beyond Cursor, I also use, factory droids a lot. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there, like the wiki stuff I want to show you. I want to show you some of the mission stuff. We're going to do some comparisons. There's going to be model drops that are only available on factory that are not available in Cursor. We're going to go, back and forth. Claude Code is going to have stuff that's in there. We're also going to take a look at Codex. I use Codex a lot. I mean, I have nearly every subscription. And I feel like this is probably one of the most vibed out channels right now to kind of look at this from the engineering perspective. For those who don't know, I used to work at this fruit company over here that for about 12 years or so. And now I'm just kind of building apps on my own, going through this journey. I have, family stuff that I'm taking care of, but also at the same time, I do have a brother that's dealing with, obesity and stuff. And this is a pretty serious topic because once we get, all of this stuff under control, I think it's going to be very helpful for us to share that knowledge at the same time. So I've gone through that journey myself, lost a lot of weight, kind of trying to get down to this last final stage. And then trying to get my brother to go there as well. And so I'll have more content on that as well. So all the stuff that I'm building, I'm open sourcing it. I'm putting all that stuff out there for free. So that way you can learn with me. I want our community to be some of the most cracked and stacked wave engineers that the world has ever seen, right? We're on the bleeding edge here, trying out stuff. And what I told someone yesterday is that it feels like I'm learning with you live. So as you see me explain things, I'm just exploring and explaining live. And whatever I've learned as an engineer, I'm just going to try to distill that down for you so that it doesn't feel so scary. Because a lot of these concepts are kind of being reinvented again in some ways, and they're being kind of defined on the fly. So it isn't that scary. It's just us thinking from first principles. And there's a solid amount of people who have joined the community. If you've gone to rfer.me/startmyai, I currently have that pinned. It's just a free community I have for school. I think that's kind of the best ways to kind of capture everyone so you can ask questions in a forum style. And I'm going to be dropping some more knowledge in there. I'm trying to figure out a better community, but I think that right now it's kind of the landing place because I don't want to vibe out a whole email platform and do all this other stuff. It's just easier to do that. So that's just going to be what I'm doing. I'm just going to be showing up like this, just vibes. That's all we do. Yeah. Okay, cool. I know windsurf, right? They had the opportunity. I think they had the opportunity to be cooking with waves. I think they're a little too early though. They're a little too, I don't know if they were too early or if they were just kind of landed at the same time. That's what's up. That's a really good point. So yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to basically probably just leave it. I'm going to just pull up to hackathons like this. No, I think what I'll do is probably finish putting it together with all the rest of the keys. I'm going to go get some food. I'm really, really hungry. It's about noon, 1 o'clock right now. I need to get some lunch and let's go ahead and vibe out. Okay. So another thing too, for those who made it this far, I really appreciate everyone who's made it this far in the stream. Because if you stuck around this far, you've gone through all my madness. You know who I am. This is the best parts. I love streaming. So I think one of the things I missed when I took a break from streaming was I really do miss it. I miss the just natural interactions that we have here, being goofy, being silly, building software, because like some of this stuff can be really stressful in some ways because you're just kind of think that things should work a certain way, but then you realize I'm not a wave engineer. What is this new wave? So no, but it's much more fun to vibe live and share what I'm doing live too. So right now, the current schedule just shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm going to try to go live. This is day 2. I'm just going to go live every day as possible. Even I'm going to be flying out July 2nd to Hawaii. I might just do an IRL stream from the lounge, or I might just do an IRL stream at the airport, or when I land. I have no clue, right? So you'll see very cool, polished stuff like this, but you may also see like an IRL stream from my phone that's kind of crazy. But I think the goal is that, like, as long as we get to connect and hang out with each other, I think that's kind of the more fun part. And I feel like that's going to be what I'm going to be here for. The health journey, all that stuff is kind of personal things that I'm putting out there as something that I want to gear towards. I think the money stuff will come. I'm not focused on that as a first priority, right? I do want to learn about business, and I will be learning about that. And I have been learning about that. And so I'll definitely share that stuff too as I go, right? So I learned a lot of stuff from Alex Hormozy and reading his books, and then now I'm going to be applying it in real practice, right? So prototyping this app, shooting for my demographic, which is, person who wants to get down to 10% body fat. There's a lot of different stuff that I've gone through in my journey that I want to try to map out. I'm literally shooting for like an earlier version of myself to try to see who would be that fit. Yeah, I know it's not for everyone, but I know it's a really narrow niche. But they say focus on one niche, one customer, one way of delivery, and that's it, right? So it's not going to be a web app, because I realize that the web apps can be not as interactive. And there's a huge opportunity in real-time voice right now that I'm not seeing anywhere else. And we're going to be building live. On top of that, we're literally inventing new technologies, new ways of like prompting, and new ways of guiding these agents so that we're not just burning our money in loops, but actually wave engineering the waves of agents that can work for us, with us, alongside of us. They're not replacing our jobs. We're the orchestrator. We are the wave makers. So that's what's up. It's been a long time since the last coffee brew stream. I got you, fam. I'll get that. I'll get on that. I got to teach you how to make a Chemex coffee that is so fire. The 16:1 ratio. Ooh, yeah. You helped me think how to approach a project, seeing you thinking is super valuable. That's cool. Yeah, I got to get, daily streaming. Let's go. I think this is my calling. I think the streaming thing is my calling. The more I step away from it, try to do other stuff, like streaming is my calling. And I'll be hustling too. So I'll be trying to make regular videos, but the streaming is the first priority. So I think if I haven't done a stream, that's why I streamed last night, right? So I was like, I'm going to stream last night. I'm going to really try to do it. I aimed for 1 hour. I just got so caught up. I was so excited. I went for 2 hours. But yeah, we'll be doing the streams. And every stream is going to have these timestamps and chapters. I'm working on a thing called Ray Transcribes, if you haven't seen that before. So I'm going to see if I can put this here. Ray Transcribes. R-A-Y Transcribes. So I did a big rewrite, and I'm going to release it soon. I have a CLI version and everything. But basically, I made this on a live stream, and it's super useful. And I have some more enhancements that are coming up as well. But literally, you can transcribe stuff like a 2-hour podcast in like 80. Yeah, was it like 80 seconds? I forgot. I got to re-benchmark. It's probably even faster now. But I can get a 4-hour live stream in less than a couple minutes. Transcribe fully everything accurate. You can add your own custom words to it, which is crazy. And it also does like timestamps and everything. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you'll see all the timestamp markers from all of my live streams. They're all from my app. So that's a pretty fun thing. But that's my little paid SaaS thing. But yeah, the free skills, go ahead and get on this. Get to the future. I'm going to make a video on wave engineering. You're hearing it here first. This trend is going to be hilarious, but y'all know where it came from, right? So that's what's up. Do I still use Grok for Ray Transcribes? Yeah, that's one. That's one of the providers I use. I use several providers, and I have some fallbacks and stuff as well. I think you're asking about that. Yeah, the beta for sure. Cool. But yeah, I got to roll out. I'm gonna get some food. I'm super hungry, and I think this is appreciate you guys joining on stream. Hopefully by the next stream, I'll have this probably all like built out, and then we're just gonna just straight up vibe. All right, y'all. Peace.